Okay, so today's topic is SAP Ariba overview, right? So before I give it to Narendra to explain, let me clear a little bit of part that why Ariba and where basically Ariba is coming it up, right? So I do a lot of trainings on sourcing and procurement. Even I myself, if you'll go to the excellence of sourcing and procurement training, we have covered some part of Ariba. We have covered the integration of sourcing and procurement with Ariba part, which parts SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement would be playing, which part Ariba would be playing, right? So that part we have covered there. Now, when it comes to Ariba, so what Ariba role would be playing where sourcing and procurement is also there. Basically, SAP is projecting SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement plus Ariba. That is a complete digital solution for SAP in the vertical of sourcing and procurement. So if any company wants to completely digitalize, they want to use advanced function features of sourcing and procurement, the complete solution is SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement plus SAP Ariba. Ariba would be working very strongly in the front of bidding part, in the front of vendor integrations part, automatic vendor integrations part. So that part would be very strong. The sourcing part would be very strong. Although the with S/4HANA SAP introduced sourcing and procurement also, sourcing word is there, but sourcing is little poor in S/4HANA. Sourcing is more strong in Ariba. Procurement is more strong in S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, S/4HANA. So they are the different strengths and there are the different advanced function features available from the Ariba side. So if somebody wants to go complete digital, use all the end-to-end function features to make sure that their sourcing and procurement sourcing is also completely digitalized, automated, connected with the vendors, automations happening with the vendors. So we already have so this is what we are basically Ariba is coming up. And now I am putting it to another thing that why you should go ahead and learn Ariba, right? So what is going to happen if you have done the sourcing and procurement? If you, okay, if you are a scratch consultant, you are working as a end user or operations, you are working in sourcing and procurement. So what should be your career growth profile? The career growth profile, which we suggest, jump into the mastery course, which is SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. Then we have excellence in SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. S/4HANA sourcing procurement is also very big. It has a lot of function features introduced in S/4HANA. So you can do excellence. And then third part, you can choose between Ariba and EWM. With the combination of advanced S/4HANA function feature, S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, and selecting either Ariba or EWM, the career opportunities will multiply by 2 or 3 times. Okay, there are very few consultants who has a very good hand on S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. They know the Ariba also, and they also know the integration part. So with that approach, if you are growing your career, if you want to upskill yourself, that's the right way. If you are more into the sourcing side, when you're working in sourcing and procurement, go for Ariba. If you are more involved into the inventory side of it, and if you have more interested in inventory side of it, then you should join the EWM, right? That is what we propose it. Or whatever the project opportunity, you can get it, whether Ariba or EWM. If you don't have any preference, you can join any one of them. So that's how S/4HANA, Ariba, and that's how the growth platform which is available. Now, we would be going in depth of Ariba overview session today. It would be around 45 minutes to 1 hour session. And Narendra would be taking that session. So let me introduce Narendra to you. Okay, so when we were thinking about doing this Ariba sessions, we had a word with many of the Ariba experts, but we were looking for someone who's very dedicated and passionate about providing the trainings, sharing the knowledge, and on top of it, from the communication wise, it should be clear that clearly the communication should be given, and expertise should also be there in Ariba. Plus, I was having one more condition, that expertise should also be there in SAP MM. Okay, so that he can cover end to end when the questions come. And then I also had put it one condition to my team who was looking for the people, that we should also be having a functional experience, because if the functional experience would not be there, then the answering to the functional business questions would not be that easy. So we found Narendra is having more than 15 years of experience. He has 6+ years of experience in Ariba, and he has 3+ years of experience in SAP and he also has a very enriched functional experience on domain part of sourcing and procurement at initial stage of his career. And on top of it, he's very passionate about training. Okay, so you will see when you will hear about it how passionate he how he explains his subject with passion. Okay, so with that introduction, I would like to invite Narendra. Welcome to the Step Up Circles.
Yes, Parminder. Thank you for the brief introduction and giving what is about Ariba. So let me take from that.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Narendra.
Good evening, good morning to everyone. So this is Narendra. I will straight away jump into the topic instead of briefing other things. So we will, as we are mentioning, this is about SAP Ariba. Ariba is some small brief regarding Ariba. It is not a SAP platform. Ariba was a separate company or a separate organization which providing procurement services, both online as well as on-premise solutions. SAP has acquired Ariba in 2012. Thereafter, it is SAP's Ariba, and SAP is providing only cloud solution. That means you will not have on-premise after 2012. So SAP is not supporting not implementing any of Ariba solution as a on-premise solution. Okay, so the people who are already using SAP Ariba, Ariba prior that they are having on-premise solution. So for them, the support is still provided, and slowly they are also migrating into cloud solution because it is reduces the cost of expenditure, total cost of ownership per year by year. Okay, so I just put it some notes so that this will be easy for reference. As I mentioned, there is a difference between on cloud as well as on-premise. Before we go into details, so I will share my screen with the SAP Ariba application. Till such time, I will just put some highlighted points on this notepad. Okay, so where we stop, we are at the on-premise solution. So what is on-premise is, it's basically a physical location. That means your application is installed at your business, so that you need to have servers and people maintaining those servers, and also a technician who build the application, and then after that it is the support is required. Even for any updates it is required. So again, SAP has to send the updates to the server. These are all cumbersome process, and which require time as well as expenditure. Coming to the second solution, on cloud. So Ariba is provided as an on cloud solution with the SaaS, software as a service. With the SaaS solution, so it is very simple. So you don't need to, normal when we are going for an implementation of any SAP ERP solutions, first you will do the blueprint, and then you will go to the realization stage, understanding the requirement, and then testing, and then preparation, then the go live will happen. Whereas after which almost 60% of the things has been removed using Ariba. Why it is already the server is built, application, everything is available online. What you need is only simple subscription to Ariba. Once your company is enrolled into a subscription for Ariba application, so that first day itself you can able to access it. So you can show the clients, this is what Ariba, so this is your requirement, we are building it like that, are you okay with that? So that will simplify the process, and also it is the time taking for implementation will be very, very easy and quick. So that is main advantage of cloud. And also the second advantage will be, if I'm speed, if I'm okay, just give me comments.
Yeah, it's good, Narendra, but if you can go a little bit slower, that would be even better.
Okay, fine. Okay, now coming to the subscription. So once Ariba people are subscribing to Ariba, so from the first day onward, they can have the feel of Ariba. So it will reduces the expenditure or cost of ownership. Then Ariba. Okay, you can access this accessibility. This Ariba you can able to access from across the globe. So there is no limitation. So for example, if you are on-premise solution, we have a limitation. So you need to have a good network to connect the servers and all, but Ariba, you don't need that. So this can be accessed globally so that anywhere the project can be started very quickly. That is the main advantages of cloud solution. And also the application side design part is already taken care. So we don't do much technical side of Ariba. What we do is we will use the application to the customer needs or customer should. That is what the role of a consultant in Ariba, he will be designing. Okay, now as he mentioned already, so I am giving some more benefits why Ariba is required. So first thing is some people who do not like to do the coding, or some who don't want to go get into technical. This is a good platform to learn Ariba and implement into the project. And second thing is some people who are doing SAP and they want to migrate into the cloud solution. SAP is slowly planning to do all their on-premise solutions to move to cloud. That is what happened with the ECC. Now with S4HANA, cloud solutions are provided. And on top of that, there are limitations on S4HANA where you cannot, those limitations are covered in Ariba. And also Ariba replaces SAP's SRM solution. SRM is nothing but supplier relationship management. So SRM is no more supported by SAP. So it is covered in Ariba. So anybody wants to take SRM solution, now they have to take Ariba subscription. So what kind of Ariba subscriptions are there? Basically Ariba is gradually divided into two things. One is upstream, second one is downstream. Okay. Now let us take a business example. What procurement organizations work, they gradually, if you are dividing the procurement teams work is, they are behind finding sourcing of supply. And they do negotiations and they place orders for consistency and timely availability of material. Basically, it is source of supply. And second thing is operational procurement. Operational procurement means it is done at the office level where the requisitions are monitored, POs are generated and sent to the vendor, and receiptings are done by the store or inventory people, and then settlement to the payment to the vendor. These are all called operational procurement. And the top part is called sourcing of supply, which is strategic procurement. So the strategic procurement can be broadly classified as upstream, and whatever the operational procurement is called downstream. So what applications are there in upstream is sourcing, contracts, SPM or SAPM. This is nothing but supplier performance management, supplier information performance management. Now it is simply called only supplier performance management only. So what will happen at this sourcing? Sourcing is a powerful tool for Ariba where you conduct events for finding source of supply. Okay, so if it is not so much technical, sourcing is nothing but you want to find out who is the best vendor, best supply for a given particular material or service. That is called source of supply. Ariba will provide you with the events based, so you can raise an event for RFI, which is nothing but you want to gather the information from the market. The next process in sourcing will be RFQ, which is nothing but getting a quotation or finding the price, finding the cost or price. So how much it will cost, how much will be the, that we will be getting in RFQ. And later, once we get these two details, if there are many suppliers are there and you want to get competitive benefit for the company, you will go ahead with bidding, or some people call it as auction. What will happen is that there is a competition between the suppliers who is supplying the material, and we try to achieve the gain by giving the best price or best quality or best deliverable time. So all these things are finalized by sourcing the strategic people. So they will find out what is the item is available from whom at what price and what are the discounts are available. Once all these events have been finalized, the next step will be you will be having a contract with the vendor. So whatever you have agreed, this is put it in legal format, which is nothing but contracts. So again, Ariba provides very strong features with the contract. What you can do is you can author the contract, then send negotiation to your supplier. So that means your supplier will either electronically or manually, they can sign your contract, showing that what we have agreed is correct. Then you will also have tasks to complete internally. So what is internally? So you want to send, for example, a spend of USD 10K. You want to send this to procurement manager. You can do a task. So you're saying this contract is about 10,000, I need approval from procurement manager. If the spend is more than 100K or 10K, or you can give a set of limits like 10 to 100K procurement. I'm just giving a random example. From 101K to this can be went to operation head. So like that, we can define the task. So the task will send for approval. All are integrated in Ariba. What you just do is you will be designing the template. Once the contract is run, automatically it sends to the relevant people for approval. Once this approval is happened, the next stage will be operation. So that means we are sending this information to the downstream. So where they will be doing the PO, receipt, invoice, everything will be down at this level. Okay, now after doing these two, you need to do one more thing called supplier management. So what is supplier management? Here we are confirming which supplier is best for what. We are allocating certain commodities from whom to buy. This is the expertise from the procurement people. They are aware. So buying it for one item from this supplier is best option. So they will decide one supplier to assign it. So again, if this material, anything is coming, please buy from this supplier. That is all configured in Ariba at the top level. And second thing is, we need to monitor the supplier, whether his performance is correct, supplier performance is meeting our requirement or not. Why it is required? So any maybe during event time, we might have gone for a lesser price, and later we found out that the material is not good or not worth, or it is not as per our standard, or there is a supplier has delayed a delivery. Instead of sending on required date, it has come in a different date, or the packaging is not good. There are certain so many criteria where you will evaluate the supplier and make him progressively improve his supplier. We are giving the feedback to the supplier again. See, this is what during last period, review period, you have performed like this, but we are expecting more than that. You do this one. And also there is one more thing you need to be monitored is financials of the supplier. Why it is required? Companies depend largely on the supplier to supply the material. If suppose supplier has failed, or it could be any of the reasons, supplier has been wind up, that will directly impact the operations of the procurement, operations of the company. For that reason, they need to keep a monitor on the supplier. If the supplier is, sometimes monopoly suppliers are there. So if that supplier is unable to supply, then you will be suffering a big loss to the company. To avoid that, they will continuously monitor the important suppliers, how they are performing, whether their deliveries are working or not. If there is any hindrances or tasks are there, the alert is given to the management to look for the other source of supply. These all we will call as a sourcing, strategic sourcing, where we'll be functioning. So somebody can ask me a question, are these three are required for all the people? No, it is not required. So in Ariba, you have the option to go only with the sourcing, or if you have only with contracts, or if you want to manage suppliers, you can go with SPM. These are all, like I mentioned in the beginning, subscription. If your subscription for sourcing, you will get access only for sourcing. If you're doing for contracts, you will get only for contract. If you're doing SPM, you're doing SPM. Again, whether the SAP solutions are compatible with other ERP systems. Yes, SAP Ariba is compatible with all your other systems like Oracle ERP. You can able to do. Okay, so you can able to use any of these functions. Okay, now let's go to the operation side. Now we have already finalized who is the material supply, what is the price, everything is there. We build up a contract with the vendor. Supply management is a different purpose where we are trying to manage the supplier. These all things are captured in the system using a contract. So one is sourcing, then contract, then award. So we determine what the material, what is the price, and other thing. So now then their job is done. So now the operations at the top level of procurement, they will focus on the other areas like how to get best supply, how to get the rate, or how to get the competitiveness. Other things they will focus, and the junior level people who are working at them, for them they will work on operations side. So what will happen here? You will raise a requisition. First thing in procurement will be requisition. Suppose somebody wants a material, he will raise a request. That is called requisition, or also called PR. Once PR is raised, so we can define approval process. This is simple. So PR is raised for example, a material quantity 10. He will open Ariba, he will search for the material and find out A. If there is already a contract exists within the system, Ariba look out for that particular contract and say, hey, I have this contract and this is the price. So you just tell me when you want to deliver the material. Once the PR is done, it will go for the approval process. This can be by a buyer, purchasing agent can approve, or if it is based on the authority, his line manager will approve this requisition. Once the requisition is approved, automatically PO is sent to vendor. You will not be doing anything. Once the PO is sent, vendor will acknowledge this. Okay, I got your order. I will be delivering this material, so and so. He will give you delivery schedule. These are all beauty of the Ariba is you can automate it. You don't need to depend on anyone. So this process, once the requisition is approved, automatically PO is sent to the vendor through network, and vendor will acknowledge this and he give you delivery schedule. Once this is done, the service is accepted by the requester. Okay, some question came, who will finalize the supplier? The supplier, here we are determining. So at the operation level, whoever dealing this source of supply, RFQ, who is generating RFQ, he will determine there will be, for example, 3 vendors are quoted, A, B, C. If A is giving one price, B is giving price, C is giving price, again this contract can be submitted to all the people internally, and the procurement department, whoever the manager, he will decide, please go ahead with B. Once B is finalized, we will have a contract with B. This is also again not compulsory. We will be ordering the item to B. Okay, I will clear your questions. Maybe if I start, then I will not complete. You will not have this. We will have a session maybe after 20 minutes. Then I will open. You can ask for questions. Okay. Now, service accepting. Requester will do either material or service. He will accept it, and the next thing will be payment. So payment is sent to the supplier. So all these functions we will able to see in Ariba. So now this is theory part. So I have, because we have a time limitation, so I am trying to cover entire cycle so that you will have better understanding on Ariba. Now I will take you to Ariba, how it will look like, how the feeling of Ariba will be there. So guys, please tell me if you are able to see my screen.
No, Narendra.
Yeah, I am shared now. Now you are seeing this login page. Yeah. Okay, this is once you have a subscription with Ariba, you will be provided a username and a password. Once you enter username and password, you will be taken into the next page, which I will be showing now. Okay, here. So this is your landing page of Ariba. People who are using SAP ECC, they might feel this is different. This is basically Java. Ariba is a Java-based program, and what you see is Fiori apps kind of a thing. You will have all these tiles, menu bars, which are similar to Ariba's Fiori concept. Okay, now this will be your landing page. As I mentioned, depending on your subscription, you will have access to sourcing, suppliers. I'm just clicking on suppliers and contracts. So these are all the options you will have as depending upon your subscription to Ariba. So then the next will be procurement, invoicing and procurement. Okay, Ariba maintains two. The servers are maintained. Upstream is kept in different server, and downstreams are maintained in server. We should not call as a server. The architecture has been designed like that. Upstream data is lying in one kind of a place, and downstream data is lying in another kind of place. So that is the reason you will find a difference when you are accessing downstream solution. You will see okay, not the sourcing. You will just see the difference here. It will happen. Now it is in sourcing. So this is upstream solution. If it is showing as sourcing, it is in upstream. Once you create a requisition, which is nothing but PR. You will see buyer. So if your browser shows buyer, that means you are in downstream. If it is showing sourcing, that means you are in upstream. I will explain all these details in detail once we start increasing once we start the training. Okay, let me take you what we want to see here. So this is the first initial page. Once you click, you will have all your personal preferences. Like you want to change your password, secret question. If you want to delegate authority, this is the best feature. Suppose you are going on a leave, somebody you want to delegate it, you can do on yourself. Then you change your profile, change your default locally. Locally is nothing but what is the region. Suppose we are working in Indian region, then you can select India. Then the values will be shown in that format. Change email notification preferences. Ariba sends you each and every notification that we can configure what notifications you want to receive, what notification you don't want to receive. Default preferences. Again, different, what is your preferred currency? Those things you can do this. Mobile device. Again, Ariba provides a lot of functions in mobile, so where you can approve a contract, to do approvals and all you can do in mobile. So you don't need to come to your web page and do these things. So, and mobile device is continuously improving. They'll be adding new features in mobile. Again, this is also subscription based. Suppose your company gives buys for the mobile devices, only those people can see this mobile service, otherwise you will not see these options. Download procurement user info, notification preferences, desktop file sync. This is automatic sync of your data from your system to desktop file sync. Again, now with the latest enhanced contract authoring, this feature is no more required. Everything you will be doing on screen. You don't need any file sync to happen. Dashboard. Suppose you want to change the color of this font or whatever, that you can use dashboard preference. We have only limited preferences that we can use. Download sourcing, change reporting, all we will be seeing one by one when we are going into the actual training. Then coming to these tabs, these are all the home tabs: contract, procurement, invoicing. Each will have different tabs. Under that, you will have, this is called tiles. The best thing is once you're going on event status, you will see this. This is a pictorial diagram which shows that how many of your events are nothing but in sourcing, whatever initial individual request you send to the supplier is called an event. Okay, it will show 7 in draft status, 33 in pending status, RFP draft status, auction is 1. That is again draft status. Then this one will be preparation stage. How many are open? Preview. So preview means before you get the quotation from the vendor, you have a preview time that you can check. Pending selection. So once these are the events which shows the summary. Then second things to do. Suppose you have an approval, you want to approve something, that will come under to do. My requisition, whatever you have created a requisition, whether that status can be seen here. My contracts. So these are all the 14 contracts which is already published. 28 in draft status. That means we are creating, and 1 in draft amendment. So once the publishing is happened, then you will do an amendment. then close. So how many of the contracts are closed? All these diagrams will be shown here. Suppose you want to change, edit tile settings. So it will give you, has been created 30 projects I can view, I directly want. So those settings you can do from here. Okay, now we will go to the sourcing one. Sourcing tab. This will be your home tab. You will see all your event details, sourcing project analysis. Here it will give you how many of your events, RFI, RFP, auction, survey, forward action. Auction is reverse action, generally we call, so that we want to get the lowest price, he will get the business. That is the reason it is called reverse action. Forward action is for the, we want to sell something, then it is called forward action. This is your documents. What are the sourcing documents you have created, you will have access. You can click on this. So it will give you how many of the project and the sourcing project, workspace project, sourcing knowledge, event. These are all your to-do tasks. So somebody you want to approve, that will be under your my task, and what all the responses will be on 43. The summary will be visible here. Then notifications and sourcing requests. This is about sourcing. So for example, if you want to create a sourcing, then this is the option. You will go create sourcing project. So this screen, what initial screen you are getting, these information you have to provide to go to the next step. So once you enter these details, you will be given an option to select the project, whether it is RFP, RFQ, and what is the template. So those templates are configured by Ariba consultant. Again, we have limited access. Since I mentioned, all the background settings are done by the Ariba. During our initial stage, we will be deciding what fields to be visible here, what fields to be hidden. This is controlled by Ariba. We just need to inform based on your business requirement, I need this field to be visible and this field to be hidden. Those configuration we need to inform Ariba. The values coming from data, whatever the data we are getting, that is the master data. So where we will be giving all the like departments, regions, commodity codes, currency, all these data will be uploading in our system. I mean, when we are doing in a project. If you have an integration with external systems, say for example, ECC, then you will have ECC access. It will give you relevant for this project. What is your company code, purchasing organization, purchasing group, or whatever. This is again during integration, what we will be selecting the which fields we want to configure, which we are not configuring. Cancel. This is about the sourcing. I will take you one contract workspace. The screens are similar again. Here also you will have the same thing, but once you open the contract workspace, so contracts, select contract workspace procurement. This is how you will have a contract workspace looks like. This will be the page which will give you all the information about your contract, which is showing what is your contract ID, what is the description, base language, which region, is there any external system integration, when it is last published, either it is a agreement types are 3 types of agreements we have. One is master agreement, second is sub agreement, third is standard agreement. For master agreement, you don't need to do anything. You will have an agreement. But for sub agreement, you need to refer what is your master agreement. And standalone agreements are the agreement which do not depend on any of the master sub. And the contract amount, supplier, affected party, and these are the attributes like effective date, when is your contract is expiring, all these, and when to receive the notification, whoever will be getting the intimations, email alerts, those details we are configuring here. Then the tab will be documents. Whatever for this project related document that you can, this is a placeholder to keep all your documents. Then the task, which I mentioned, like you want to send something for approval, that you can do that. Again, that finally you want to send this for supplier to accept it, then we will call negotiation for the supplier. It is possible that supplier will get an access only for that particular task, and he will verify the document we sent to him. If he is okay, then he will accept it. He will not get access to all the other details. He will get only limited access. Then team. So for one contract, you can define who will be your contract owner, who will be your negotiator, who will be the director. These are all we can configure. What members needed in your contract team. Message board, which is nothing but if you want to communicate within the department or within your project, you can use this one, and this will be history. It will hierarchically, it will show what all the things happened on this particular document. This is about contract workspaces. Then the second part will be suppliers. I'm trying to show all the features so that you will well aware of the functions of Ariba and why we want to go ahead with the Ariba. Okay, this is the suppliers. So here you can do the supplier performance. So you can do a survey. You can rank the supplier using all the methods mentioned here. Okay, now this is about upstream solution. Now we are going into the downstream solution, which is nothing but. Okay, now I will show one more feature, search. When you're clicking search here, click on more. This is all you have access. So for example, reports, procure to pay, procurement workspace, workspace request, buyer catalog, catalog procurement, contracts, invoicing, other procurement, and the procurement you will see requisition. So I want to create a requisition. Sorry, I am in search mode. So if I want to search requisition, I can search based on this data. Like I want to search what are all the requisition happened between 27th January to 10th January. I can click and I can click search. All the requisitions happen between this period will be shown. You will also have an option to select different fields. Suppose you want to search by approver. Being as you are an approver, here you will be selecting the approver. So for example, admin user 1, or it can be any of the name. Okay, David James. Then you can search, all the reports will be search. So again, you will have this option. You can select either invoice if you want to search. You can search. You can search about contract requests. Suppose we are requesting a contract. So how you want to search? You can search using. If you do not select any filters and click search, all the search will be appearing here. You can also export this data into Excel. All rows are current page. Current page will show you only these 10 records. If you are clicking all rows, about 169 records will be exported. So you can group, you can also show, now here it is showing 5 columns. So you can select this. You want to show date submitted, requested, other fields. This individually differs for one more, I mean, all other functions. For contract request, it will show the related fields. If you're selecting invoice, it will show the other features. Okay. So this is about procurement side. Now, how we will be managing it? Okay. Create. So this button means you have whatever you have access depending upon your permission. You will have access to, like this user is having access to create a contract workspace. Suppose if he is not part of the contract and he do not have a permission, then he will not see this contract workspace button here. Then this is about you create contracts. Click on more will give you entire screen whatever you are eligible to do creation. Cancel. Then manage. So here at this place you will be managing. So here we are creating. Suppose if I am the administrator, I want to manage my templates. Since we are in templates, so I can modify all my templates so that the user can use this one. Then the recent will show you whatever recently you have created. So suppose this one I have just clicked, that is the reason it is appearing. You can use. These are navigation. Either you can search from here or you can use the common action or recently viewed. You have multiple options and this is user friendly. So it's on a front. So you don't need to depend on anyone else. At least only initially, maybe 1 or 2 days, you will need some support and after that it is user friendly. Okay, now the next thing is, this is what a user will do in Ariba. What is the consultant, our role? Our role will be, suppose I have shown you one contract workspace. These fields are appearing. After that, we will be selecting a relevant template to be used. These templates are created and managed by Ariba consultants. Consultant in the sense we are functional consultant. What we'll be doing, we will be understanding the business requirement and we'll be creating a template which mentions who is this team, who will be the document, what document need to be there, what are the tasks need to be there, what is team members, whether team members have access to the template, whether they can modify it. All these things will be configured by ourselves. These fields, initial discussion itself, we will be telling Ariba, okay, I don't want this field to appear. That will be our first doing an implementation level. We will be doing this job. Based on the selection, even we can filter. Suppose I select one department, for example, 100 corporate, then I want this content workspace to be displayed. If it is not 100, I don't want it to be displayed. That all we can able to configure. That we don't need to support from Ariba. So this is how our job, I mean the consultant job will be. I think I have covered to show whatever from the screen side. Okay, now I will tell functional side. Since we do not have access to do the technical backside of Ariba, suppose some changes, how we will be contacting Ariba? You will be contacting Ariba. Okay, so you will be contacting Ariba by raising connect.ariba.com. Once you enter this, you will be assigned username and password. You need to have a DSC access, designated service consultant access. So once you have this access, you will able to connect with Ariba and you can request whatever the changes is needed. One is you will be raising the ticket or service request. Service request or enhancement request. If it is a small configuration, then you can ask for a service request and they will respond and they will do the changes. If it is requires a lot of efforts, then you have to raise an enhancement request. That will be scheduled and it will be given as a new feature addition that will go for further testing and then it will be implemented. This will normally take some time to implement it. Service request, it will be handled if it depending on the priority level. Suppose if it is a P1 level, that will be handled within 2 to 4 hours. If it is P2 different timelines, P3 different level, all this will be agreed between your customer engagement executive with the client. So that is how you will be connecting Ariba, how they will be configuring the changes for you.